In all honesty, meaning things that pertain to being truthful and authentic. And those 5 lights in the back that are reflecting are not an alien ship. They are a reflection in the window. In all honesty, well, first of all, when people say, I'm not going to lie, or if they say, let me be honest, that should go without saying. We really should be speaking our truth. And whatever that might represent to any given person on any given day can actually be a changing thing. Truth is never fixed. There might be overlays of apparent dogmas that people will take on as being the truth. But something could change in the day and new realizations take shape. And suddenly something that was considered to be truthful now takes on a new light because something else was discovered. So it's a very elusive topic because if the truth will set us free, it's very difficult it's a challenge to wonder how the truth can set us free if in fact the truth is a changing anomaly at all times. But I think when you look at the divide and conquer, what are they dividing? They're dividing our minds because we use speech to reflect what we're thinking. And as soon as there is dissent or disagreement or discord or debate, there's a divide about what is ultimately truthful. So debate in itself is not necessarily a bad thing. But if we're trying to get to the bottom of how truth can set us free, and yet truth is a changing, evolving ideology, somewhere we have to get to a common denominator of truth that applies to everybody. And stop focusing on the differences and all of these programs that are put in place to divide us. Critical race theory, transgender, these are divisions. Dividing us about our gender, dividing us about our political stand. Really, that's the crux. Any of us need to be divided. Those who stand for one thing, and one thing only, and that is the demise of the corruption that anything that has to do with what we could label as a satanic, or what we could label as being perceived as evil, because it appears to harm other people and children. And if that is the bloodlust of what's behind people in power, if you stand against that ideology, then it does not matter what color, what race, what religion, what belief that you have about death or love or anything. All of those things can be discussed once we realize we're actually on the same side. If you do join with that side, okay, then that means you are opposed to the other side. The other side can also have a mix of beliefs and different levels of beliefs. there's different levels of initiations in the black arts, and the top black wizards, the line is drawn in the sand when you pick that side. There is no more division than that. It doesn't matter what religion or anything. If you stand against those atrocities, and anybody who may cause those atrocities, and if you stand for the belief that there could be a good alliance working on that behalf, including our own part, which is keeping our spirits up in awareness where these things are being resolved, where these things are being brought to the surface, where we are preparing our side for anything that comes, because that is the nature of evil. They have used deceit, blackmail, corruption, trafficking, drugs. Well, this is the reality of it. And we do come to a point in this matrix of things being exposed to us so we can recognize exactly what we don't want. You pick that side, then you're what I would call on the good side. If you pick the side that wants to continue in that debaucherous behavior, then that's the other side. Those are the two sides. And you got to know your enemy, because they do not just come in the form of evil murderers. They come in the form of narcissistic, controlling, manipulating, negative energies over people, demeaning people, shaming people, cruelty. That's all that side. And while we're not perfect, we are not meant to be perfect, but we're designed to rise up to our higher selves in that choosing of a side. You might not be perfect, but if you understand what it is that we are against, then you simply live out those actions to the best of your ability, and together that energy will be the guiding consciousness that creates this new world and this new understanding much more expediently. There's some really deep inner wisdom that we need to consider, go within, and not let get obliterated by the overlay of constant misinformation, doubt, the energies that suck you into that dark side, doubt and fear and anxiety. All of us who are opposed to that, whatever our resources are, whatever we've been through, we bring that together, because that is the culmination of the full truth of the people who are seeking peace, love, kindness, and justice for the world. All of those people have thoughts, they have concerns, they have their own traumas, their own worries, but they stand for one thing. And when we share all of that and hear that out amongst that side, we will have unified the field that is the greater truth. I don't know. It sounds like I'm preaching. I'm just rolling it off, coming from my heart, coming from various different sources of information. But mostly just my own heart, and being aware of that from a very young age. Always being in complete concert with what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking it, why I'm thinking it, where I'm at, the dark sides, the dark feelings, what you can do to uplift it, support each other. This is who I have always been. This is the side that I pick. I call it the good side. But that whole good and evil construct is something that is just there in the matrix to bring us up and through, so that we finally find the way to make a truth in all of these uncertainties and in all of these different individual beliefs, how we make a truth actually easy to do, to accomplish. And that's how we do it, in that unified field of all our differences, but we know what we stand for. Let's make this happen. It's written in the stars, my friends.